What up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Funboxing with Will. I'm your host, Will, with H2O Co. Film and Photo, and today we're going to be talking about how to turn your Canon EOS M50 into a cinematic beast. So let's get into it. Alrighty guys, now before I get into it, I just wanted to thank all of my new subscribers. As of recently, my numbers have gone up a little bit. I just really want to tell you guys that I appreciate you. I do these reviews mainly for fun. I've never been one to be like, oh, you know, I want the most subscribers, I need to live off of a YouTube, deal, but I really do enjoy doing this. Now I am going to be offering a wet giveaway. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I am going to give away my Mavic Mini DJI drone to the 1,000th subscriber that I receive. So whoever you are, it may be a while before I get anywhere near that many subscribers, but it's going to be up for grabs for whoever is that 1,000th subscriber. So when that does happen, just go ahead and comment when you do become that 1,000th subscriber. Comment your contact information, email address, and I will go ahead and get in contact with you, and then we can go from there and get that DJI Mavic Mini shipped out to you. But that'll be a ways away, so I digress. Today's video, as I said, we're going to be talking about how to turn a Canon EOS M50 into a cinematic beast. Now, I personally use my EOS M50 all the time, constantly. It's my go-to video camera just because the quality is so good and it's such a compact, small unit itself. I just have always loved it. I know they say it's not a pro camera, but it does everything I need it to. Produces amazing footage. I can color grade everything in post, and I've gotten some really great results with it, so I've always loved using it. It's very simple, as it is a beginner camera, so it's very simple to learn, very simple to set the adjustments the way you need them. And now there are some things that help improve these cameras though, and I wanted to talk about a couple of those. Now, my list has 6 items in it. You're always seeing these 5 accessories you need to buy, or 10 top accessories for this, and I don't think that there's a standard set to what you need to purchase for a camera to get the effect that you're looking for out of it, but there are some things that are very important. Now, as far as my setup personally, that's pretty much what I'm going to go over. Some of the things that I've purchased that I use on a daily basis that I couldn't go without. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and bring up is the cage. I have here a small rig cage. This cage has been specifically designed for the EOS M50, so all of the compartments that you need to get to and have access to, like your microphone, your HD output, your battery compartment, your SD cards, all that stuff is perfectly accessible while in the cage. It's a very low profile cage, as you can see. It's really snug and tight around the body of the camera. I'm going to go ahead and link descriptions to all of these products in the description below. I'm going to put some links in there. It has, like, I don't know, probably 30 or 40 1/4-inch mounts surrounding the cage. So you can go ahead and attach pretty much anything to it. Now, I also went ahead, and this isn't one of the items on my list, but I did go ahead and buy the small rig top handle as well, just to give myself something to carry it around with. The top handle does come with an extra cold shoe mount here on the top, which I found very useful for mounting field monitor, microphone, lighting, anything like that. Although the cage itself does come with an extra cold shoe here on the left side of the camera itself, or I'm sorry, the right side of the camera if you're facing the camera. So there is a cold shoe here, and then yet another one on top of the handle. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a better view of this cage here, see if I can get it more in focus. It's got a really compact form factor. Like I said, it runs right alongside the cage and allows you to connect pretty much any of your attachments to it, and I would highly suggest it. The price point I paid for it, I believe, was $59.99 on Amazon.com, and it is an amazing buy. I love it. It allows me to attach all the accessories I need, and it works great. For $59.99, who can beat that price, you know? So second, that was the first item. Second item, which probably should have been the first item, big issues with a lot of people's videos, and if you're new to videography of any type, whether it's vlogging or making movies, marketing, advertising, a lot of people when they first start off don't realize how important sound is. If I'm watching a video and it has crystal clear 8K quality video, but the sound's terrible, I am statistically more likely to change the channel or turn that video off than if I had amazing sound and a 720 resolution on my video that was grainy and crappy. Something about the human brain, we need that audio to match up with the video, otherwise we become distracted, less interested in the project we're watching. So with that being said, you need to get an external microphone. Now, I currently am consistent pretty much with my Boya mini mic is what I usually have on the camera itself. Right now, I'm using that Boya on my T7i to record this. So the example I'm going to give you guys is another good microphone. It is the tackstar 598 SGC microphone. It's a little cardioid shotgun mic. I've done a review on my channel of it. If you guys want to know more about this mic in depth details, go ahead and look on my channel for that review. I believe I posted it 2 or 3 months ago. It's a pretty detailed review about it, but it gives you a lot better quality audio than what you're going to get from the in-body mics that are built in. So that is an essential tool you need is good audio. So I would definitely invest in a mic. This one I believe was $39.99 or $29.99. I'm pretty sure it was the $29.99 price point. It's been a while since I looked at that review that I did, but I'm almost positive I got this one for $30. So it's a killer deal. And the Boya, the other mic that I normally use is the Boya mini mic, MYBB1. It is an amazing mic. I love it. That's what I'm using right now for the quality of sound that you're hearing on this video. It's a little bit smaller profile than this one, so I use it more often just because it's not as long and it doesn't get in the way as much as this one does. But this is definitely a good go-to if you don't have a smaller mic. Alrighty, now third on the list is going to be something that if you don't know how shutter speed and aperture relate to motion blur, that is a whole nother topic or a whole nother subject that I could explain for a half an hour, so I'm not going to really get into that, but I'm going to kind of give you a layman's breakdown of it. Because of what the industry standard is, most videos that we watch on television or in movies is shot at 24 frames a second. Now, because of that, the human mind and brain has been trained to just, that's what feels natural when you watch something. It pretty much means that every second 24 photos are taken and stitched together to make that video. Now if you get up into higher frame rates, say 30 to 60 to 90 to 120 frames a second, your video is going to it'll be slow motion video, and the less frame rates, the more choppy it'll get, and it'll just look it'll look unnatural because of the style of motion blur, the amount of motion blur that you get. Now when you're filming, there is a rule, and it's that you should always double your f-stop to what, or I'm sorry, you should always double your shutter speed to what your frame rate is. So if I'm shooting at 24 frames a second, I'm gonna want a shutter speed of 1/50th because it's the closest that the camera offers to 1/48th, which is be double 24. So I'm gonna want to set my f-stop or my shutter speed to 1/50th, and then my aperture or my frame rate to 24 frames a second. And in a lot of cases, if you're outside or depending on where you are in the environment, it will overexpose your image because 1/50th of a shutter speed is it allows quite a bit of light into your camera sensor, and that's where these come in. These are variable ND filters. They go on your lens, and it essentially acts as a pair of sunglasses for your lens. And what I like about the variables is that they have sets you can buy that are ND 8 all the way up to ND 256 and all this stuff. This one is a variable, so you can twist it, and almost like a pair of transition sunglasses, it will get darker or lighter depending on the amount of torque you give it and the twisting you give. So if it's a little bit too bright, you can darken it stage by stage and not have to swap out 10 different filters to get the image color and brightness that you're looking for. You can do it all with one filter. These filters are from Fotga, and they are 58 millimeters. That's something you have to keep in mind, the inner ring size of the thread, because they screw onto the lens. Your lens will always have a number on it with a 0 and an X line through it on the front of the lens, and that is going to be not the focal length of the lens itself, but the thread millimeter. So you want to make sure you buy the appropriate millimeter thread. But once you do that, you can slap on one of these variable ND filters, throw your camera in 24 frames a second at 1/50th of a shutter speed, and then adjust this to make sure that you're not over or underexposed, and you'll get the perfect cinematic motion blur. So that's number 3. Always get ND filters. They're very useful. Number 4 is pretty much, it's obvious, you know, it's something if you're going to do any kind of videotaping and you don't want your camera footage to be wonky and shaky as hell, you're going to need to get a tripod. I'm using my Manfrotto tripod ball head right here, but for more cinematic shots that I like to get, I use my Silk panhead, fluid panhead tripod, which is a really nice tripod. Now they make little vlogging tripods you can pick up for fairly cheap. There's one right here. I believe this one is made by DigiPower, but they have some on the market. Joby is a very good name brand. Now they're going to be a little bit more expensive for the Joby Gorilla Pods, but you can get little tiny tripods like this that you can hold while you vlog, almost like a selfie stick. And depending on the millimeter of focal length of your lens, they work great. So yeah, tripods, they range from very cheap to very expensive, ridiculously expensive for just 3 legs and a screw at the top. It kind of shocked me when I first got into the industry how much they can charge for just a tripod. But when you really think about it, it is the stability, it's the foundation of your footage, it's the stability of your footage, and unless you're going to spend a couple $100s on a gimbal, and even in some cases you're still going to need a tripod. So invest in a tripod, and I hate to say it, but don't get a cheap one, because when you get a cheap one you'll realize really quickly why it was so cheap. They will to flip over in the wind, they won't be built very sturdily. Manfrotto is a great name brand though, so that's what I would personally suggest if you're looking for a tripod. They also have a varied price range from fairly cheap to their higher end. So no matter what your budget, you'll be able to find something through Manfrotto that's pretty decent there. So that was the number 4th thing right there. Now, number 5 for me on the M50 is definitely going to be batteries. I've picked up some extra batteries. I got a third-party extra battery here that I picked up from Energizer, and it seemed to work great so far for me. I haven't had any issues with it as of yet, other than the fact that it's a little bit of a tight fit, but I just slapped on a piece of scotch tape to the end of it as a little handle, so when I'm pulling it out of the compartment I have something to grip onto, and I haven't had any issues with it since. So yeah, the battery life on the M50 is not what I would consider good at all. It's very, very extensive on the battery, and I feel like mostly that's because of the it doesn't have an optical viewfinder, it has a digital viewfinder, so it's essentially the duplicate image of the LCD screen that you get in live view is what's always going to be shown through the viewfinder. So you're always going to be, it's like a little TV screen in there that's always consuming power, and I honestly think that has a lot to do with why the EOS M50 has such a poor battery life, to where you can only record for about an hour and a half before your battery starts to die. That's about the battery life that my GoPro offers me, so that's pretty piss poor for a mirrorless camera, I feel. But as I said again, the extra batteries come in very handy. This set that I got from Amazon for the Energizer was, I believe it came out to like $12.99 for a single battery, so it's not too bad. Now if you want to go the Canon route and get the trademarked Canon name brand batteries, you're going to be paying for that name. They get up, I believe the ones I saw online were around $69, $79 per battery, so you're looking at around 80 bucks for a single battery. So I'd definitely go with a third-party battery. They work great for me anyways. I've never had any issues with it, and that's yeah, that's just from my own personal experience. So yeah, and then I'm trying to think, that's pretty much it. I just checked my little list here. But those are the top 6 essential accessories that I would suggest anybody who's looking to get into videography with the Canon EOS M50 should buy. And if you do, it will definitely show in your work and your production value. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you found anything in here that you like, or if you do enjoy watching these tech reviews, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and hit the bell notifications to get future video content that I put out. I'm always putting out new videos. Sometimes I'll go a week or 2 without putting out one, but at least once every 2 weeks I put out a video. Sometimes I'll put 2 out, 3 out in a week, and then I won't be heard from again for a week or 2, but I'm consistently putting out content. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, like I said. And as I said earlier, we're going to be holding a contest eventually. Whenever I get close to 1,000 subs, I'm going to go ahead and give away my Mavic Air Mini to my 1,000th subscriber. So good luck in that contest, everybody, and I guess until next time, everybody have a great night and stay creative, my friends.